Have you ever wondered why, on a fall Saturday, millions of Americans are just completely glued to their TVs, absolutely losing their minds? Well, today we're going to dive into the cultural powerhouse that is college football and really figure out what makes it so much more than just a sport.
Right off the bat, you have to get this one simple truth. For literally everyone involved, the fans, the players, the students, the alumni, entire towns, this is a way of life. It's an identity that goes way, way beyond the sidelines.
So that's the big question, right? What are the ingredients in this secret sauce? We're going to peel back the layers here and look at the spectacle, the passion, the personalities, and of course, the legends that all combine to create this incredible thing.
First things first, it all starts on the field. This is the absolute foundation. This is a sport where it feels like the laws of physics and probability they go out the window, creating these moments of pure, unscripted magic that you really have to see to believe.
Okay, let's talk about one of the most insane endings in sports history, the Iron Bowl. You've got arch rivals Alabama and Auburn. It's a tie game. Alabama's trying a game-winning field goal from way out, but the kick is short, and then the impossible happens. Auburn's Chris Davis, he just catches the ball and starts running, weaving through a sea of crimson jerseys for 109 yards as the clock hits 0. Touchdown, game over. It is pure, beautiful chaos.
So that sound you hear during a play like that deafening roar, that's not a sound effect. That is the sound of 100,000 people losing their collective minds at the exact same time. And, that brings us to the next layer of this whole thing, the fans themselves. Look, if the players are the heart of college football, the fans, they are its soul. It's their traditions, their rivalries, their just sheer volume that transforms a game into this massive cultural event every single weekend.
And this right here, this perfectly captures the creativity and the humor of the fan base. For hours before the game even starts, shows like ESPN's College Game Day are just flooded with these signs. They're clever, they're hilarious, and they show a level of dedication that is just next level. You get the classics like "We Want Bama," which usually it's from some tiny team that has no business playing Alabama, but you just gotta love the confidence.
And look, I get it. Watching at home is great. It's comfy, you get the instant replays, but being there, it is a sensory overload in the absolute best way possible. The smell of the tailgate grills, the sound of the marching band's drumline literally hitting you in the chest, the feeling of screaming a rivalry chant with 50,000 of your closest friends. You just can't get that feeling on your couch.
Okay, so the plays and the fans set the stage. But who are the lead actors in this drama? Who are these larger-than-life figures that are driving the storylines we follow so closely every week?
Every great story needs compelling characters, right? And college football is no different. We are in an era of huge personalities. I'm talking players and coaches who are just as entertaining off the field as their teams are on it.
And you literally cannot talk about modern personalities without bringing up Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. This one quote from his very first meeting with his new team at Colorado, well, it tells you everything you need to know. It's bold, it's confident, and it was a signal of a complete and total culture change.
His arrival wasn't a ripple, it was a tidal wave. He famously told the existing roster to get in the transfer portal, which is the system that lets players switch schools, because he was bringing in his own guys, his luggage. Was it controversial? Absolutely. Was it traumatic? You bet. And it made Colorado the most watched team in the country, like overnight. That's the power of one magnetic personality.
But a personality like Coach Prime doesn't just appear out of thin air. He and so many others, they're part of this long, rich history. They're really walking in the footsteps of giants. And that brings us to our final layer, the legends. This is the deepest layer, the one that holds it all up, the history. College football is just steeped in mythology. The legendary teams, the impossible plays from decades ago, the family dynasties, all of that creates the context and the weight for everything that happens today.
You can draw a straight line through the sport's history. It goes back to the 80s with the Miami Hurricanes, who didn't just win, they basically invented on-field swagger. Then you have these singular moments like Doug Flutie's miracle Hail Flutie pass in '84, a play so iconic it's still all over highlight reels today. That history creates these legends and dynasties, leading all the way to today with guys like Arch Manning, who's carrying the pressure of probably the most famous last name in all of football. It's this continuous, evolving story where the past is always right there with you.
Okay, so let's put it all together. We've talked about the plays, the fans, the stars, the legends.
How do they all combine to answer that first question we asked?
It really breaks down into these 4 essential layers. You start with the pure spectacle and thrill of the plays themselves. You wrap that in the passion of the fans who create the soul and the atmosphere. Then, you throw in the modern personalities who drive the weekly drama, and it's all built on this deep foundation of legends and mythology that gives everything historical weight. You take away any one of those pieces, and the whole thing just falls apart.
So, when you boil it all down, college football isn't just one thing. It's this rich tapestry woven from these 4 distinct threads. It's kind of the perfect storm of athletic brilliance, tribal community, character-driven storytelling, and a history that feels almost mythical. And that's what makes it so powerful.
And that brings us to the end, with one last question just for you. Is it a last-second touchdown you saw? A tailgate you had with your family? A funny sign you'll never forget? What's the one moment that, for you, truly captures the spirit of this incredible game?